It always is a game of cat and mouse, right? You're always going to be catching up with each other. This is to me, it's interesting because I hadn't really thought about this type of strategy of basically trying to find weaknesses in the malware of how it operates, and then inoculating yourselves, quotes unquote, your machines. So maybe if I do have a large corporate network, I could apply these types of policies to all of my machines, and then if Locky did make its way to that machine, it wouldn't run. But as soon as the cat's out of the bag and like the story gets released, now the writers of Locky know that, and they're going to code around these situations that people are already taking into account. So
it makes you wonder if there's a way to automate your half of the cat and mouse game. You get the new sample of Locky, you see what changes it makes, you try and rewrite your inoculation to.
Yeah,
you may have to do a lot more testing than that, but
there needs to be a human that's like looking at. I don't know if you can have a machine figure out as much of this without really maybe looking at how the code functions.
It's also true, though, that the malware authors, to some extent, are lazy, and if they'll use the same registry key, for example, for a long time, as their indicator of whether or not they've already infected this box, until it ceases to work for them. So, this is the kind of thing that we do look for, when we're analyzing malware. What kind of registry keys does it access and why? As an indicator of compromise, well, then you can turn these around in many cases into inoculation. So it's research that's worth doing. Whether or not it's worth the effort to deploy these, inoculations, that I have mixed feelings on. But
yeah, I guess I would be concerned about now my machine. This is just one thing, but let's say down the line they tried to use this strategy more so going forward. And now I've got hundreds of just garbage random registry keys in my machine that really aren't functional, but they're there to kind of protect me from this or that malware family actually executing.
Well, to be fair, if you have a machine and you install and uninstall software all the time, chances are you've got a whole bunch of useless registry garbage in there anyway.
Yeah, that's a whole nother, but that's a whole different reason though.
I'm trying to think ahead on this one, and I think it may really depend, the usefulness of these tactics might really depend on the ecosystem around the malware author, whether or not they're selling it to third parties and how often they provide updates.
Right.
So if someone sold off 1,000 copies of Locky, they're not expecting another update for another quarter, maybe you're going to be fine until the next patch comes out for Locky for another quarter.
Right.